Good morning. Before we start planning, I just wanted to tell you how impressed I was with your enthusiasm during yesterday's lesson. Your positive tone and excitement really helped engage the students. Thank you. I know I still have lots to learn. We all do. A growth mindset means understanding that we may not know something yet, but we can improve through practice and reflection. Oh, I like that. And instead of saying I can't do this, I can say I can't do it yet. Exactly. What do you think the purpose of prompting students during instruction is? The purpose of prompting students is to help guide their thinking without giving them the answer. Great thinking. That's a strategy you can continue developing. Let's plan tomorrow's biology lesson. What content will the students be focusing on? Properties of water, specifically surface tension. Excellent. What materials will you use? A short reading, guided notes, and then a hands on water bug lab using dry erase marker drawings that float on the surface of water. What would you consider the most important concept that you want the students to understand by the end of the lesson? That water molecules stick together due to cohesion, creating that surface tension. What prior knowledge will the students need? Coming into the lesson, students should understand that molecules interact with one another. Great. And how will you state that objective to the students in student friendly language? For today's objective, we're going to explain how the properties of water create surface tension and then observe it in action. Nice. Okay. How are you going to know if the students understand by the end of this lesson? I'll use an exit ticket and observations during the lab, and also a take home lab report for them to finish that I will grade the following class. Great. If I interviewed students afterwards, what would you want them to be able to tell me? That cohesion between water molecules creates surface tension using hydrogen bonds. Excellent. Now let's make sure that lab activity directly supports the objective. I observed your lesson today using our observation and coaching tools. I'd love to hear your thoughts. First, non judgmental observation. During the first 10 minutes, I noted that 14 of 18 students were actively taking notes and responding to your questions. That's helpful information. Now I know what I need to work on there. I was also wondering, I noticed several students became less engaged during the explanation portion. And I wonder what might happen if students discuss the concept with a partner before the whole group discussion. That could increase participation and give them more processing time. That's exactly the kind of reflection that helps us diagnose student learning needs. I'd like to provide some targeted feedback based on today's lesson. Sounds good, thank you. First, a strength. Your explanation on surface tension was clear. The students appeared excited during the lab, and every student appeared to be participating in the lab portion of the lesson. Thank you. If we look at the evidence, it did show that fewer students were responding as the lesson progressed. So I think an area of growth we want to look at is student participation during that direct instruction. Yeah, I noticed that too. A possible next step would be incorporating a think, pair, share before asking whole class questions. This gives students time to process and rehearse their responses. Or if you'd like, we can research some other ideas together. Thank you so much for the support. I'm excited to keep learning and growing. I'll get better. Excellent. We'll review the results during our reflection conference and determine what worked best. Continuous improvement is what professional growth is all about. Thank you for your support. I'm excited to keep learning and growing, and your advice really helps make me a better teacher because I really want to do the best I can for my students. And I believe, especially in science, like you're always learning and you can always add more. And that's exactly the great mindset we want to model for our students. You are doing a great job. Okay, that's the end of the presentation. But if you want to see the actual lab that I performed during COVID, stick around for another minute and a half.
Hello everyone. Today one of my students said, can you please do more experiments we can do at home? So I tried to find one that was simple with tools you may have. So today you need foil, you need water, you need a dry erase marker, and preferably a reusable straw, but any straw will do. Worst case scenario, you can just blow. Okay, so on the foil I used a permanent marker and I made a line. This is going to be my finish line, which we're going to see in a moment. And with my dry erase marker, I'm going to make some water bugs. I'm going to make one, but you can make as many as you like. One per person's best if you want to race them across that finish line. So draw a little circular body to that bug. Give it 6 little legs because it's a bug, not an arachnid, and 6 legs always work best. And then this is the part that you go slowly on. You're going to take your water and you're going to slowly pour it in until you fill that little pond that you've made edges from. Do you see the bug moving around? Now you take your straw and you try to get him to cross the finish line. And there he goes. If you do this with a whole bunch of people, you can have water bug races all day long. You can make them different shapes, experiment around, and see how many little water bugs you can get racing in your little pond. Hope you have fun with this one. Let me know how it goes. This is fun for all ages.